Interesting one. Not very often seen on the grass track circuits. Number 3, Richard Moore. It'll be interesting if he can get that Speedway outfit going. Rides 100% Speedway. Richard Thomas has made the best of the start. Wilson's now got to watch that he doesn't let Ivor Matthews through as well. And at the moment it is still Richard Thomas. Remind you, of course, that last at the Winterbourne circuit last weekend. He was in terrific form then, pleased to be back in the starting lineup for the British Masters and showing exactly why. Very disappointed when he missed out on the race. Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley working hard on the inside. Rob Wilson and Tony Miles forced to stay wide, forced to drive hard in both bends, and again they get very, go wide as the checkered flag goes, and it's going to be close, but it's a victory for Richard Thomas. Second, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles, and in third, Ivor Matthews and Symon Wall.
Well, John Halsey makes good bottom turn. Jewison there in second, Cookson in third. That's the 1, 2, 3. As they go into the top turn. Welshman trying to go through on the inside of John Halsey. He's actually happy with third at the moment. Cookson gets it a little bit locked up on the paddock turn. Loses a little bit of ground, but what a super turn he comes out in the lead. Well, Cookson really took me by surprise, and Steve Jewison in trouble here because I thought he locked it up too much on that bottom turn. Wide this time. John trying to come through on the inside, but it's Cookson from Halsey. In third place is young Gary Jackson. So that's the 1, 2, 3. Champion really has blown his luck in this one. Remember, with the heats as well as the finals. Wow. That was hectic. A last lap turn, Mike Cookson went in the lead and he came out third. So, a determined bit of driving there from John Halsey. He was going to go through on the inside, come what may, and he did it. He took Gary Jackson with him, so in my view anyway, I may be wrong, but it looks like a win for John Halsey, Gary Jackson second, and Mike Cookson unfortunately back in third.
So the first of the sidecars starts to come out. This race 48. Remind you that number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargraves qualified for this final with maximum points. Also, number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glenie, maximum points to the final. They haven't been beaten, either of them today. John Halsey has the title of having won the Battle of Britain in April. And we've seen them race together a number of times. They know each other, and this promises to be a cracking final. Not forgetting, of course, that we've got Rob Wilson on the line. We've got Ivor Matthews, we've got Nico, and Mark Edwards dives in there as well and tries to find a way through. As Tim Bennett drags everybody wide, Rob Wilson has gone with him. Ivor Matthews up there in third, Mark Edwards in fourth, and Ivor Matthews looking for a way through. John Halsey back in 5th place at the moment. This promises to be a great 6-lap sidecar final. Second, Rob Wilson on the outside of Ivor Matthews, trying to find a way through. Mark Edwards is right there with them. John Halsey as well is still there with them as he goes on the inside of Mark Edwards. Chases after Ivor Matthews. Comes into that bottom turn as Tim Bennett and Steve Hargrave have still got the lead. His way around the outside of Ivor Matthews. He's now looking for a way around the outside of Tim Bennett. Down the back straight he goes and Rob Wilson noses in front. Tim Bennett comes back at him. Rob Wilson gets it again as they go into this pit turn. Rob Wilson and Tony Miles it is that are on the outside. Tim Bennett John Halsey has seen Rob Wilson go all the way around the outside. He makes the same decision and gets himself up into 3rd place. Tim Bennett fights back again, gets his nose in front. Rob Wilson and Tony Miles looking on the outside. John Halsey's getting closer and closer and closer. Now closing right up, and has he got in front of Rob Wilson? He's got himself almost in the second. Tim Bennett takes the advantage and pulls away again. He's got now Rob Wilson and John Halsey chasing him. John Halsey on the inside, Rob Wilson on the outside. Goes in the fourth wide. Steve Hargrave still up there. Rob Wilson again applies the look for the outside. But as they go down the back straight, the three of them are racing together, Rob Wilson, John Halsey and Tim Bennett. And by the look of what we've got a red flag, that is absolutely incredible, because what a race we had in our hands. Tragic to see that we've got Mark Edwards out on the outside of the circuit that has gone into the doors.
Indeed, while obviously they repair the wheels on the bottom of the circuit and attend to the fallen riders. Please say congratulations to what I think has probably been one of the best sidecar races I've seen this season. Absolutely incredible racing. And if that's what this Tunbridge track produces time and time again, you know you've got to tell everybody to come here and watch the racing. Absolutely incredible sidecar racing. You probably gathered by the fact that they've given the checkered flag to Tim Bennett, but the clerk of the course has made the decision. They were on the last lap. They had taken the 5th lap, last lap signal. It means that we can award the result, and as they crossed the line at the end of the 5th lap, they were still racing, of course, but it can be awarded that the winner of race 48, the right-hand sidecar final, was outfit number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargrave. A tremendous ride from them. They were pushed every inch of the way. In second, number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. In third, number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glenie.
You see the very distinctive colours of Rosling on the far side there. He pulls up into grid 5. Richard Piggott gets into that first corner. Richard Piggott leads going in, but he's got Rustling and Paul Urich very close to him. Richard Piggott goes very, very wide. You can see Rustling has taken advantage of it. Rustling goes through into the lead. Mike Cameron's up there in 3rd place at the moment. And those front two come together again. As they go into that top bend for the second time. Rustling and Paul Urich's lead. Richard Piggott and Marty Brady still there in second, looking to pull it tight this time and come underneath Rustling. As he got it, as they go past us, it was very, very close. Rustling dives across his racing line going into that pit bend. He picks up the best line going around that bend. Those two orbits almost together as they go into the middle of the bend, looking perhaps not to leave any gaps as he comes round this time. Rustling pulls it much, much tighter. That was a good corner from Rustling and Paul Urich, forcing Richard Piggott to try the outside line, but again Richard Piggott follows him through into the pit bend. cutting the door, not leaving any gaps at all. This time again tries to pull it tight, but he's gone wide once again. Is there room for Piggott to get through? Piggott goes for the gap, but Russellin gets it. Richard Piggott gets second, Mike Cameron gets third. And Rob Wilson picking up fourth place. What a great scrap between those front two. So 6 outfits go in every single race this afternoon. I've said it before, I don't mind saying it again, everyone seems to be like a final. Alan and John Blewett trying to get a jump on the start. They get away this time cleanly though, as Ivor Matthews has made a good one. John Halsey in fact is back in the field, and Alan and John Blewett have made the best of the starts. Ivor Matthews is up there with them. Rob Bradley is in third. Alan and John Blewett have got their heads down, they know they're in front, everybody else has got to do the work behind them. John Halsey tries to go around the outside of Rob Bradley. He's still battling for that third place as Ivor Matthews is still pushing for that lead. We know we've seen them have great results here at North Berks. They've come off that top bend. Ivor Matthews still looking for a way through. John Halsey and Jason Glenie still in that third place now as they start to close the gaps on the leaders. Now this could get interesting because as Ivor Matthews looks the way round, in close contention, that's where the gaps start to open. You can see John Halsey knows it as well. Will Ivor Matthews go for the outside again? John Halsey's got through. John Halsey goes through in the second place. He's now going to try and hold down Halsey and Jason Glenie as they've gone wide on that final bend. It's not over yet as Ivor Matthews has come through in the second. John Halsey gets it, Ivor Matthews gets second, Alan and John Blewett, after leading for so long from that start, they have to be content with third. What a superb sidecar race that turned out to be. Ken Lane, who's been having a good day so far, Dave Steer, Terry Phillips, Jerry Adams, Nevill Penfold, and the replacement for John Halsey is of course Roy and Ken Spreadbury. As we look across to the start line, looking perhaps for those very distinctive letters of Ken Lane. It is Ken Lane and Mark Edwards that break as they go down that back. Dave Steer and Alan Cave it is that dive into second. Ken Lane looking to pull it sideways as he comes round off that top bend, holding a brilliant tight line. So Ken Lane still in that brilliant form as they indeed go past us for the first time. Nevill Penfold now has moved up in the second place. For the second time, really does look to have it back on song. Nevill Penfold still pushing hard in second place with John Mitten in the chair. Jerry Adams has moved up in the third. Dave Steer in fourth place, but under pressure from Terry Phillips as they go into that pit bend. Looking to the far side is still Ken Lane who's setting the pace. Here's Mark Edwards going that top corner, but Nevill Penfold is getting close. Nevill Penfold moving right up on the back wheel of Ken Lane as they go into the top corner. One more lap to go and Nevill Penfold looking for the gap on the inside. Ken Lane must by now know he's there. He pulls a very tight line into that top bend, almost gets it sideways, forces Nevill Penfold to go around the outside. A brilliant corner from Nevill Penfold. He's got a long, long way round with a great corner from Nevill Penfold. Ken Lane forced him into going the wide line. He eventually took it and went all the way around the outside. It's not over yet though as they come to the line. You can see Nevill Penfold pushing it every inch of the way. A great ride from Nevill Penfold and John Mitten. Ken Lane and Mark Edwards get second, a good scrap for third, and looked to me as if Dave Steer just got it on the line from Jerry Adams. But a great ride there from Nevill Penfold and John Mitten.